Thunder Report from 107.7 The Franchise.
Greetings, Thunder fans, and happy Sunday to you. The Oklahoma City Thunder will practice again here at the Integris Development Center before boarding their charter jet later today to head to San Antonio. On this Thunder Report, we hear from Russell Westbrook, Nick Collison, and Kendrick Perkins.
News yesterday about Serge, just your reaction.
I mean, it's definitely tough. Definitely going to miss Serge and, what he brings to the table. I definitely know what that feeling's like, being in that position and not able to, help your teammates and, help us out the way he can. But, he's going to stay strong and we're going to stick with him and, try to go out there and win for him.
How do you adapt without him?
I mean, we just going to have to figure it out. I mean, that's something you just going to have to figure out, go out there and play and play our game.
Any words you have for him? Because you mentioned you went through it last year. Some advice you gave him?
Just stay strong and stay confident, man. Don't look at anything negative. Always have an open mind and be positive about everything.
Russ, does it put more of an onus on you guys individually, knowing that back line is now absent? He's such a great protector of the rim.
I mean, I think we do a great job team defense, in my opinion. I think we, throughout the year, definitely Serge block shots, but I think we do a great job of just playing team defense and sticking together.
I mean, obviously, San Antonio is a team you guys are very familiar with. Just early, what are a couple keys maybe for the first game?
Just keeping them in front of you, man. They're a team that like to, pass the ball around your head and just, make you run all around. You just got to keep them in front of you and be solid.
Russell, one of your advantages in this series is your youth. You guys are veterans, but you're still a lot younger than they are. You've got 5 or 6 guys, 25 or younger, playing. How can you take advantage of those young legs?
Just gonna play our game. They're in the same. They're in the Western Conference Finals like we are, regardless of how old they are, how old we are. We're gonna go out and play our game.
Hey Russell, can you just talk about Steven and his continued evolution? Why do you think he's been able to continue to play more and more?
He's gotten better every day, man. Coming in early every day, working on this game, learning. He's done a great job of just listening to the older guys, Nick, Perk, and those guys, and teaching them little things. And he's done a tremendous job of helping us out.
When you try to deal with Parker defensively, what's the key? I know, he likes to see the rim. You throw bodies at. What do you do with him?
Just guard him. That's it, man. He doesn't do anything special. You just got to guard him. That's it.
One-on-one or no?
But you don't guard. Nobody in this league guards anybody one-on-one anymore. So you got to guard them using team defense and playing, together.
Anybody else for us? How do you guard against? Because I guess the natural reaction, some say, well, people have to do more. How do you guard against a feeling you've got to do more with Serge out individuals?
We gonna play team defense, but we're not gonna take the onus on ourselves to try to block shots or do what Serge does, because nobody can do that. We got to play together, team defense, and do what we can defensively.
Obviously, you guys got the news yesterday about Serge. Just what was your initial reaction to that?
I think a lot of us knew after the game it was going to be tough for him to play. Disappointment, obviously, but we have to turn the page quickly and be ready to go in game 1.
What are going to be some of the main keys in this series? Obviously, you guys are very familiar with San Antonio.
Defensively, you really have to be on. You need to have all 5 guys engaged because that ball's moving so quickly. If we don't have all 5 guys in tune with what's going on, that's when they get open threes and open layups. So I think defensively, getting back, getting in front of them, and then getting into our defense is big.
Specifically, how do you adapt to the loss of Serge, especially with somebody that can be as disruptive as Parker can be?
I think, similar to what I just said, I think everyone needs to raise their level of awareness, and we really need to be in tune with what's going on. We can't have a lot of mistakes that Serge will just clean up like we've had in the past. So I think everyone really needs to be sharp and get into these games early and just be fully engaged with what's going on, and we can do it. We can have 5 guys engaged and make it tough on them. Nick, how might
your role shift now? Do you expect more minutes and a bigger role?
I don't know. We're down a man, so I think everybody's looking, for opportunity to play some more minutes. I'm going to continue to do the same things I do. We'll see how much I'm on the floor or whatever. That's up to coach. But for me, I just want to be ready to get in there and do what I do and effort and concentration, I've always said, is really all you can control as a player. So that'll be my mindset.
Does last year, the fact you guys went through this with Russell help you at all in terms of how to deal with it? Not just physically, but psychologically, emotionally, everything else?
Well, I think so. I think we know that the games still go on and you have to still play. That's what we learned. So it's unfortunate, but we realize that they're not going to push back game one to get our guys healthy. That's not the way it goes. So we got to be ready with the guys we got, and we're confident we can play well.
Can you put into perspective the level of play you're getting from Steven as you look in the playoffs and the level of competition you're going up against?
He's been great. When he got here, you could see that he had the physical ability and had a good idea of what to do. But as the season's gone on, he's felt more comfortable, and it's really impressive. I don't think I played my first NBA game until I was 24. So I mean, for him to be doing this at 20 years old, it says a lot about him and his ability to listen and to learn as the years gone on, and now he's playing well for us. So we expect him to continue to do that.
When you guys adjusted without Russ, is it, probably helpful isn't the right word, but this season when you guys had to play without Perk, since you've lost another big in Serge, could that help also?
Yeah, well, I think just that overall mindset that we realize that the games still go on and we have to be able to adjust, and we've had to do it before, so I think we've gone through that a little bit. So I think that will help us. We don't necessarily feel the gut punch that we felt before because we've been through that. So I think that is big. But again, it really only matters how we play and how we come to play in game one when the ball's thrown up. So that's what we're focusing on.
Offensively, did you guys sense spacing and passing, that kind of thing was really good in that second half against Clippers? And is that something you're going to need going forward?
Yeah, that'll be big. I think that's what you need in playoff basketball, is to be able to be spaced and be able to read what's going on, because the teams take away what you're trying to do a lot of the times, and then the second or third action is when you have to be able to read it. In order to be able to read it and make good plays, you have to have the good spacing. So on the offensive end, pace and space and decisions is what wins the games.
So has it been a bigger factor for them this run through the playoffs? How do you deal with him? What are the important elements to confront him?
Well, I think a lot of their complementary guys get their shots off of their initial action. So if we can be really sharp at the beginning, we're not giving up a lot of wide open layups, open threes. I think Splitter's a guy who's really good at finding the seams and catching and finishing. So if we can get the ball under control, we can cut a lot of that stuff out.
Does avoiding foul trouble suddenly become even greater importance?
I think you're gonna get a lot of guys. You're gonna get guys in foul trouble in these games because it's physical and the fouls start to accumulate. But we have to avoid the silly ones, the ones that don't give us any advantage. So it is big. We're down a man that's 6 less fouls we got. So it is a big deal.
Nick, one of your advantages in this series is your youth. You still play a lot of young guys. How can you take advantage of that? Even though some of these guys have played a long time, Russ, Kevin. How do you take advantage of those young legs?
Well, I think a big thing for us is putting guys in spots that they can take advantage of that, and that's by executing, spacing the floor. If those guys don't have any room to operate, it's easier for a lesser defender to be able to stay in front of them because the help is so much closer, things like that. So it all goes back to our fundamentals, our execution, and trying to play in transition, give those guys space to use their ability.
Do you expect Perry to be coming into the rotation, and if he is, do you feel like he's ready to go?
Well, I know he's ready to go. Just because these guys haven't played doesn't mean they're not capable of playing well. It's just the way it's gone. We got talented guys, and it's up to coach and what he's going to do with different lineups. But I'm confident all those guys, they're ready to go. They've been working hard. They're ready to go. So if we look over one of those guys is checking in the game, we're not going to flinch. They're going to play well.
Nick, you beat this team 10 out of 12 times. Does that help you, or is that a non-factor?
I think it's pretty much a non-factor. I mean, we're confident we can beat them. I'm sure they feel like they can beat us. They've seen everything. They've been through everything as a team. So it really just when we got to get ready to play when they throw that ball up, and that's the way it always is. You throw everything out the window, and it's tonight's game. That's the most important.
You said that you guys had an idea that Serge would be able to go right after the game, but by the time we got in the locker room, you guys seemed upbeat and kind of moved on, already accepted it. Did you guys talk about that as a team before we saw you guys?
We didn't talk about it. We wanted to wait and see what everyone had, or what the official word was. I think you probably saw us after winning a tough series, so of course we felt good about that. But in the back of our minds, we knew he was dealing with something. So we had to wait to find out for sure yesterday. And obviously disappointment, but we realized it doesn't do any good to be sad about it. You got to be able to come back and be ready to play.
I'm sure you'd like that before, but you've been really sharp on the road over the last 4 or 5 games in the playoffs. Is that of any benefit going into their place for the first 2?
Yeah, I think that's one of those things with experience. You realize that the building doesn't matter as much as maybe people make it sound. I mean, we've lost games at home too. We've lost big games at home where they've outplayed us. Other teams outplayed us. So just that idea that tonight's game is what we're focused on is what we've learned in our experience. So game 1, it's in San Antonio this time. We'll be ready to go and try to take it.
Or just initially, you guys are so familiar with the Spurs. What are some keys going to be in this series coming up?
I think we just got to play every possession for 24 seconds. Try to limit their transition with Tony Parker and take away their transition threes. And I think the biggest key is running them off the three-point line and making it rough on Tony Parker.
Obviously, some tough moves yesterday. What were your initial thoughts when you heard about Serge?
I mean, just for him personally, you hate for him to go down. I know how it feels tough just watching from the sideline, especially coming this far. So, you know, it's hard, but we're going to move on. We're a very prideful organization, team. We're going to move on and keep moving.
A lot of people count you guys out now because of this loss. How do you guys avoid having that same mindset, letting that creep in?
It ain't creeping in with us. It's just people on the outside talking. We very confident in the guys that we got. Obviously, we're going to miss Serge, but one thing about us, we like being counted out. Because then after game 1, we like to hear what y'all going to say next.
You guys, obviously Steven has developed, Nick has played at a very high level. In fact, you guys are deep at the bigger sizes.
Yeah.
So, talk about how that could play out, different guys contributing.
Well, now we can go back to, we had to mix it up last series because they had some high-flying bigs and athletic bigs that like to run the court. So now the game slows down. We go back to our defensive coverages, and I think it'll work out well for us.
You've been pretty effective against Duncan. What are some things that you try to take away from him or some keys in defending him?
Just make it difficult on him. And just every shot got to be a contested too, and just not be friendly.
Is this anything like 2009 in Boston when Garnett, you lost Garnett for the playoffs? Trying to adapt without him, is it similar to you guys having to adapt without Serge?
Yeah, they brought 2 different type of things to the game though. When we lost KG, that was more of our emotional leader as well as what he's putting up 20 and 10, but he was our emotional leader. Like, he was our leader as far as just on and off the court, so that was a big blow. But it's something like the same. You're talking about just the defensive effort, the shot making. We're going to miss him.
Talk about San Antonio Spurs method of operation, their process. Can that be scouted? And what is that process? What do you have to defend when people talk about it's their process?
I mean, you got to just watch out for their trick plays. I think all they back cuts that they do, you know, and like I said, we got to play them for 24 seconds. We know with them it's never over. And the same play that they'll run with 10 minutes to go in the second quarter is the same play they'll run to try to end the game with. So it's all about trickery with them, take away their easy baskets and just make it difficult on them.
Do they as an opponent require the best of you guys in terms of approach in every situation because of their experience and the system they run?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they well coached, but I think these last 2 series helped us a lot. The Memphis series and the Clipper series, I think it helped us going into this series because now we know what type of players to deal with, how to guard certain things, and if we got to switch up, we will.
Can you put into perspective what Steven Adams is doing for a rookie to be playing at the level he's playing?
He's playing at a high level. He's coming in. He's giving us some great minutes, great production, and he's doing a great job.
What's going to be the key to getting Kevin, Russell, Reggie space to operate with him athletically? They're going to have some advantages in this series.
Well, I mean, they sag back on the big sag back on the pick and roll defense, so they'll be able to attack all night.
You'd be one of the younger Spurs if you were in the Spur rotation. You're one of the older Thunders, so you guys are much younger. How can you take advantage of that in this series?
I think we just got to make them move. I think if you watch in the Dallas series, every time Dallas made them move and ran their stuff with speed, they struggled. So I think that's the key.
That's Thunder center Kendrick Perkins. We'll be following the Oklahoma City Thunder to San Antonio. I'll have a practice report tomorrow after shoot-around in San Antonio. And then don't forget the TotallyTickets.com countdown to tip-off powered by Homeland and Bake 7 live from AT&T Center at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Thanks for watching this edition of the Franchise Thunder Report. I'm David Garrett for 107.7 The Franchise.